the Ethereum Merge cross-chain cryptocurrency decentralized trades, and so much more, including something you either love or hate. NFTs and some cryptocurrencies are coming out as securities, older cryptocurrencies. This will heavily impact some price movement. My name is Vosk. We're going to break it all down here today on the Voskcoin YouTube channel. Let's jump into it. As always, this is not financial advice. The Mainnet Merge announcement, okay, per blog.ethereum.org. Simply put, the Ethereum website, Ethereum is moving to proof of stake. The transition known as the merge must first be activated on the beacon chain. That beacon chain update has happened, right? That's been pushed out, but the merge has not happened yet. So do not confuse that, at least at the time of this video publishing. That date, really any time over the next 2 to 3 weeks. These are really crazy times. There's so much buildup. There's so much leading to this. And simply put, this is supposed to happen. Following years of hard work, how about more like proof of work? Ethereum's proof of stake upgrade is finally here. Just to be very clear here, right? The proof of work execution layer, Ethereum 1.0, the Ethereum blockchain that we've known it for over half a decade, okay? It is supposed to end with this. The consensus layer, also known as the beacon chain, Ethereum 2.0, or simply proof of stake, at this merge event brings the death of mining, at least for Ethereum. To be very clear here, they call it a merge. It's really the full-blown activation of ETH 2.0 in the consensus layer, and it is the deactivation of the proof of work. I mean, look at the diagram. The finality after not 12 months, which your brain might try to input there. 12 minutes. Proof of work. Gone. It's interesting. It's a huge change in the, not even just Ethereum ecosystem, but the cryptocurrency sphere as a whole. Really the world, if you ask me, but I don't know. I just know how important cryptocurrency and blockchain technology is. But not everybody's happy with Ethereum. Like Stefan Tual. He helped build the framework for DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, including simply the DAO, the Ethereum DAO. But he's left the community of Ethereum saying no longer fits with his original vision. One of the main designers behind the structure of the DAO, he left the community of Ethereum after 9 years, citing a disconnect between what he wanted to build and what he feels the project has become. He said, this is where it gets a little more dramatic. I cannot, in good conscience, continue to act like all is well in Web3. He wrote in an email to Ethereum London meetup there. In a separate Reddit post, he addressed a lot more details, including that the blockchain, or the hedge fund coin term, distributed ledger, has turned into a circus of centralized NFTs, non-fungible tokens, endless Ponzi schemes, illegal securities, or turncoat sycophants. See if I said that one right. Cue the Google pronunciation.
Turncoat sycophants.
Pledging loyalty to the nearest regulator. He doesn't recognize himself in that space, not even one bit. He now intends to focus on technologies including mesh networks and software-defined radio communication. Are we going to get some kind of helium LoRa fork? I don't know, but I'm intrigued. I understand some of his frustration and skepticism here, or criticism, or both really. But hey, all we can do is keep pushing forward. If you give up, you'll never be able to make any kind of change or impact there. So we'll see. You know, he's free to obviously do whatever he wants. It's interesting seeing someone involved here for apparently with the Ethereum community for 9 years. Seeing, see you later. This place sucks now, and it's a freaking circus. It's not positive at all. But something that is positive is Thorswap launching cross-chain swaps for the majority of Ethereum tokens. Thorswap is a multi-chain DEX decentralized exchange aggregator that's launched cross-chain swaps for over 8,300 ERC, or simply put, Ethereum ERC20 Ethereum tokens. They removed the need for users to bridge assets and enable native asset swaps directly in its platform. That's big because bridges have been the source of most hacks. Just the Ronin bridge with Axie Infinity cost over $500 million of lost funds. Pretty freaking crazy. Thorswap lets you choose from non-native or native tokens, and when a transfer supporting Bitcoin, Ether, BNB, Dogecoin, and other coins, the protocol holds approximately $361 million in TVL or total value locked there. So look, just to be clear, I don't have any investment in this ecosystem. I've been loosely watching it from the outside. I think it's cool. But for reference, right, their all-time high 10 months ago, their all-time low 10 days ago, and they're down 18% in the last 30 days, specifically Thorswap and their Thor token. Thor Chain and Rune here, valued at over $500 million, down 90% from its all-time high, and down 26% in the last 30 days. Interesting movement there for those coins, but also keep in mind that lately, not even just crypto market, but especially just simply the global market has been very red, very bearish recently, and that definitely impacts cryptocurrencies. Loot. 1 year later, the NFT hype is dead, but the loot-verse hope lives on. Lists of fantasy gear sparked a market boom and bust, but also the imagination of builders. Loot-inspired games and media are nearing release, and a Loot 2 NFT launch could accelerate growth. Do you remember this? As a nerd, as someone who's spent countless hours in Diablo and many other similar looting games, right? I think this is very cool. I can visualize this, especially with my just many hours sunken into those types of games. I can see it from the outside, this looks kind of ridiculous. I can see from the inside, this also looks kind of ridiculous. I think it's cool though, but let's get the gist of it. Dom Hoffman, well known in tech circles, is the creator of the video app Vine, which was really just TikTok, but I guess a little bit too early. Released a free mint for an Ethereum NFT. White text, black background, loot for adventurers, 8,000 tokenized bags of fantasy weapons and items, randomized adventure gear here. It minted out within a few hours, and keep in mind that it costs hundreds of dollars to be minting these NFTs. Pretty interesting, right? And for reference, loot has sold for some crazy prices. We look at the highest last sale, 420 Ethereum, 200 Ethereum, 109 Ethereum, 100 Ethereum, okay? And if you're wondering about the pink icon, that's going to be WETH, wrapped Ethereum, Ethereum traded on top of the Ethereum blockchain, as opposed to ETH, just simply Ethereum on the Ethereum blockchain. And let's just put that into perspective real quick. Okay, and we'll just take one of the top lower numbers. Simply 100 Ethereum. Come on, CoinGecko, I need you. Easy math, 100 ETH, $150,000. This would have easily been double the price when that trade went through, if not much more. Notice I focused on the highest last sale here though. Let's step back a second. So how about recently sold? Some recent sales, 1.2 ETH, 1.5 ETH, right? 1.5 ETH, 1.5 ETH, 1.5 Ethereum. Floor price under 1 Ethereum, and the best pending offer here at 0.72 Ethereum. Basically, simply put, this is a far cry from all-time highs, and NFT trading volume has plummeted massively, right? Looking at that in a simple diagram here, we can see that in orange we have users, in blue we have transactions, and obviously they are down. However, I think that they're decently high. But when you look at the volume in dollars and purple, it's bad. It's low. It's scary. Notably, the marketplace processed nearly 5 million worth of NFT transactions on August 28th, approximately 99% lower than its record high of $406 million on May 1st. The Bored Ape Yacht Club has dropped by 53% to 72 ETH versus a high of 153 or 54 ETH on May 1st. Very stark contrast here. Very big difference. And it really just kind of sheds light on our current market conditions. But there are some interesting developments, and some people aren't really, or organizations, companies, whatever, aren't exactly letting up. Everyone filed for a trademark for the 2023 Las Vegas Strip Circuit Grand Prix. F1 has been gaining a lot of interest and popularity. They're marketing towards a younger audience, integrating with things like NFTs and their merch just being pretty cool, as opposed to industries that have failed to just kind of grow and expand and evolve. Example would be NASCAR, right? But Formula One could introduce NFTs, digital collectibles, and cryptocurrency payment support ahead of their 2023 Las Vegas Grand Prix. However, let's talk about the actual video sponsor that made today's video possible, and that's going to be Margex, who claim to be your reliable way to trade Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies with up to a whopping degen level 100x leverage here. And just to be clear, leverage trading, margin trading, advanced level stuff. Don't do this if you're a noob. Do some research, get accustomed to it all, make some spot trades, because here's the thing with leverage. It's pretty cool. So let's say we've got $1,000 we're going to trade, and we traded at 20x leverage, right? So if we trade at 20x leverage, we buy $1,000. We buy $1,000 of Ethereum, right? It goes up 10%. Oh, easy math again, right? I can do math again. Up 10% on 1,000, we now have $1,100. We made $100 on that trade. Sweet, love that. If we were utilizing 20x leverage, we would have made $2,000. Okay, you would now have triple the amount of money you started with. But just like this allure of basically trading a bigger, bag than you actually have, it can also blow up in your face. You can get liquidated and literally lose everything. They have their MP Shield system, which is supposed to, simply put, protect you from unfair liquidations. Let me show you how quick things can change. So I logged into their trading platform. I'm on Ethereum here, and we can see that I am down 8%. If I close out this trade right now, I will realize the loss of about $300. But yesterday when I was looking at my position, and I actually wanted to close it, but I wanted to shoot this video with my position open. And this is showing how you need to make trades when you need to, and you just understand what's going on, as opposed to basically just being stupid here. So in this scenario, yesterday I was up 46%. I had made $2,000. Keep in mind, this is a demo account from Margex, so I am trading real funds on the real platform, but I am not able to fully realize these gains and withdraw. I do obviously make my own personal trades and things like that, but just one thing, for reference here. But it's definitely funny the way things go. So use our link down in the video description below. You can go ahead and click over on the wallet section and use a promo code and input our promo code, and then start trading if you'd like to do so. As always, proceed at your own caution. This is not an endorsement nor financial advice, and even more so, make sure to read through their fees and understand any sort of fees that you will be subject to. Grayscale discloses SEC Securities Exchange Commission the evil SEC queries. It says cryptos XLM, Stellar, ZEC, Zcash, and Horizon, or formerly Zencash, may be securities. And I'll explain that here more so in a second. But basically, the questions highlight the uncertainty of Grayscale's lineup of the brokerage account, and speaks on even more aggressive regulator determined to crack down on tokens it believes should be subject to U.S. security laws here. I'll just cover this real quick. Way back when I started my crypto journey, especially mining journey, I was mining Ethereum, but there was this newer coin called Zcash and a lot of forks that came off of it that it interested me. And so I was looking for something that was, a smaller community, hopefully had a bright future, smaller market cap, a bigger upside. I wanted to be early, right? And so I saw Zencash and I thought it seemed kind of cool, and definitely some of our early videos were focused on mining that and holding that, and among other things. And so long story short is they ended up sponsoring the channel and some videos, and they rebranded from Zencash to Horizon, and their website was horizon.global. And I said that was a stupid name. It was terrible branding, and that really upset them, and to the point that they reneged on our entire agreement, dropped the sponsorship. I'd have to look back at the emails. This was years ago, but my understanding was basically get the hell out of here or we're taking you to court. And, too bad, we're dropping you. And I just quit, or really been forced out of my full-time job to take care of Tails, pursue cryptocurrency full-time. And that annual sponsorship that I had secured with them that was quickly reneged, was part of my baseline income to ensure that I could pay my mortgage, my bills for food, and everything else. So it was pretty scary and crippling, and I didn't have the funds to fight someone with millions of dollars in court like that. I think that Horizon and their team are actually pretty terrible people. They wronged me. You go out there, do your own research, and do whatever you want to do. That's just my personal, true experience. I can pull all the records. Everything I say is just facts here, as always on the channel. Another project that was just heavily rooted in their founder's reward would be Zcash. I think they absolutely are a security, right? So they took 20% of the block reward for the first 4 years. And I mean, that made so many people so much money, right? Including early investors like Roger Ver. Zcash basically tried to add some actual true privacy to Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin fork with privacy, to put it simply. They have Electric Coin Company, ECC, and the 20% of the huge coins they received in the first 4 years, because understand they have halvings, the amount of coins mined decreased dramatically. So it's a huge percentage. It's massive money. Zuko was making, I think, like millions of dollars per month at one point. We pull some old articles with how much just he was making personally, right? And I think everyone involved should be rewarded heavily if things are going well and making progress. But that 20% in original agreement wasn't enough. So they took the 20% and then they had their halving, and then they took another 20% for the future. Grant rewards, the ECC and the Zcash Foundation. And it's just money grubbing, man. They do so little and they take so much, and they've already had so much, and it's all front loaded and heavy. Zcash continues to just be a terrible investment. I remember that, and it kills me. I traded out some Ethereum 1-to-1 for Zcash, because that's how close they used to trade. They were both trading around $300 for a while years ago and things like that. We look at Zcash, whopping $61 per coin right now. Ethereum, we round up basically $1,560 per coin. I got absolutely obliterated on that spot on those trades. All-time high isn't really all that accurate. That was like right when it launched, and it's not really even a good metric. Over the last year, this coin traded all the way up to like basically $300 if you sold it on the highest day, right? And you compare that to, say, Ethereum. Over the last year, Ethereum traded at over $5,000. Okay, so I could go on. Basically, Zcash was also supposed to be ASIC resistant, and so was Zencash, Horizon. They both submitted to Equihash ASIC miners in a time where ASIC miners were, much less readily available, and GPUs were not as widely used in major mining farms. I don't want to sound like a grumpy old veteran here that's been, in the game too long, just a little bit too salty and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't like those coins at all. And, again, you do whatever you want to do. I'm not here to influence you. I'm just here to, give you my story, my data, condense my research for you guys all to consume, and hopefully save you some time and help you make better moves. As always, hope you enjoyed the video. For better and worse, my name is Voskcoin on the Voskcoin YouTube channel, home of Tales. Speaking of investing, our CIO, our Chief Investment Officer, the cutest pup in the world, our resident Dogecoin, or simply put, a Shiba Inu. And hope you enjoyed it. Hope you subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.